Scale Executive and Virtual Assisting Training Program. This is a global curriculum, so you are going to really enjoy this entire training. So this is a Skill to Scale Executive and Virtual Assisting Training Program. Is our global standard curriculum. So if we're going to go through this entire training, we can guarantee that you're going to literally meet up any single standard across the globe. Like whether you're going to go to the UK or you're going to be working with people in the US or Canada, what we are trying to tell you essentially is that irrespective of where you would be working, we can literally guarantee that you will be able to make a lot of impact and you'll be able to understand everything they're saying, and you will of course be able to service customers. Okay, so that being said, let's just go straight to the training. Now, because I would love this training to be very engaging, I don't just need you to listen to this like a course. I want you to stay with me. I'm going to give you like a personal name just for the sake of this training. Trust me, it's a good name, so you have nothing to bother about anyway. So I'm going to be calling you like Blessing, because this training primarily is going to be a blessing to you. And of course, like, wouldn't you love to be blessed? Okay, so every single time I call like Blessing, I would genuinely just want you to like come back again and make sure you're paying attention and you can be responding. Now, whatever platform you're going to be watching this training, I'm sure there's going to be like a comment section, and I want you to feel free to interact and respond to me as though we're actually having a conversation. Of course we are. Remember, I'm having a conversation with my supposed Blessing here. So I've already done an introduction to this course. That's why I totally left it completely out of here. We've done a very comprehensive introduction. If you found this training anywhere, just ask for the introduction. If at all you found it from Skill to Skill, which I suppose you should have, you could of course just ask around, and then they'll definitely give you the introductory, or the introductory training is going to be somewhere around this particular training. Okay, so I'm going to be, first of all, I'll walk you through the curriculum. So I've already made a very simple fact. One is this is a global standard training. You need to push your understanding and push yourself a little bit forward. You may be watching this video from Nairobi, Kenya, or you may be seeing this video from somewhere in Accra, Ghana, or probably one remote African country or one remote village or somewhere around. I want you to understand this, that you are far away in one little place does not in any way imply that you are not a global citizen and you cannot service people globally. That's one. Two, I've always said this: virtual assisting is going to be the future of what they call employment. In the next 5 to 10 years, we are going to see individuals who will be running billion-dollar companies with 20 virtual assistants. That's the future of the world, because AI is going to be doing so much that the only thing somebody who wants to actually get people to do something for them, will just need to, let me find the virtual assistant that has a little bit of the skill set and let me hire the person. So those of you that are learning this, you're making one of the best decisions in your life to sign up for this training and fully participating in this training. I can guarantee you, Blessing, it would change your life. Okay, and so I know it's going to be strange hearing me call you Blessing, but I'm just trying to say you are blessed. Okay, you can just take it that way if you have any reason to feel offended. Okay, so let's just dive in. The first module of this entire training program is what we call the core professionalism and conduct. The very bedrock of being an incredible virtual assistant is professionalism and conduct. Trust me, you can't beat it. And so I'm going to be teaching you professional ethics. I'm going to be teaching you how to maintain strict confidentiality, being sensitive to, be ensuring that you keep sensitive information confidential, work etiquette, proactive mindset, taking initiative, and of course, strong professional image. And then the second module, we are going to go into time management and organization, where we would look at the Pomodoro and the Eisenhower metrics, how to manage your time effectively, prioritizing taxes, digital file management, organization, and all these plenty things. And then the same thing with communication. So you can see communication is very extensive. You're a virtual assistant. The person who's going to be working with you doesn't know you, how you speak, your tone, your etiquette, if you can manage communication, you can bet you're going to have a very successful career as a virtual assistant. So we're going to be looking at communication. This is the first three models. Now, these models are essential for two reasons. One is primarily because they form the basic framework of what we call soft skills that makes your foundation as a virtual assistant very strong. And then secondly, because these things are applicable not just in virtual assisting, but in literally every and any career path that you may choose. Okay, so whether you're making up your mind to be a virtual assistant, stay a virtual assistant, or any of that, you need to understand that it it really wouldn't matter whether or not you finally do end up to be a virtual assistant or not, but your ability to stay focused, to stay committed, to stay focused, to stay committed. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be looking at very specific things. Core professionalism and conduct, support and time management communication, which I have said is the bedrock of most of everything that happens within virtual assisting is about you communicating with the client. And so your ability to actually listen, hear, communicate clearly, from telephone etiquette to clear verbal communications to active listening to proofreading and editing techniques to presentation skills, and these are like very important things that you actually be learning within this training program. And then most people are like, they think virtual assisting is about the hard part. For me, I personally think that virtual assisting is relatively 20% hard skills, which are these technological and software proficiencies. So from using Google Docs to Google Slides to using Google Sheets to Google Drive, Google Calendar, Calendly, labeling and filters for email management, mastering Outlook, Microsoft Office, social media management, Asana, Monday, Zoom, Slack, all this technical and technological part of it. You're going to be taught that as well. That's an entire module of its own. And of course, it's the longest part of the training. And then we get to administrative and executive support taxes. This is where you grow stature as an executive assistant. This is where your virtual assisting skills become pro level. It is where you become an expert in so many things, where your maturity now sharpens. We look at advanced calendar coordination, effective appointment setting, tracking, comprehensive meeting planning and strategy, basic financials and all that. And then, yeah, we'll have a special session for people who want to do business support and client support as VAs, including sales on WhatsApp, and then personal and professional development. So yeah, we're going to touch a little bit of AI. To those of you that have access to like the bonus class, you're definitely going to have access to that. So yes, this is a rundown of the entire training. Now let's get to the meat. Let's go to the meat of everything. Blessing. I strongly believe that if you pay attention for the next 30 minutes, you're going to fall in love with virtual assisting, because this is where the flay of everything is. If you don't fall in love with virtual assisting, don't worry, you may want to give your time a little bit more. But you may want to give yourself a little bit more than 30 minutes actually to actually fall in love with it. So let's get started. Core professionalism and conduct. Now, I developed this training, and listen, guys, you guys have to give me my flowers. No, I don't like flowers. Biscuit. No, I don't like. Give me my chicken. I prefer chicken. You guys have to give me my flowers here, because I developed the training in a way that even if the only thing you went through were the notes, I can bet you're going to be a good virtual assistant. Now, this doesn't mean you're not going to watch all the videos, because there's a lot I'm going to say in the videos that you'd obviously not see within the notes. But I had to craft the notes and everything in a way that I'm talking to you via the notes. You can hear me reading the notes. You can read the notes and get the gist. So I did it because some of you have never been on the internet before. You've not done anything specifically related to the internet. This is your first time you're coming towards this part. It's important that you still have a way of understanding and comprehending everything that I'll be talking about. Okay, so let's get deeper into everything. Yeah, let's get deeper into everything. I'm trying to make sure my audio is adjusted very well. So yeah, hopefully you can hear me. That's the thing. That's a beautiful thing with that's a beautiful thing with recording stuff. It's like you can't get feedback. But I do love classes. I just have to do this because some people would not be able to follow up the classes, and I need them to see have the full training undilutedly, I would say. So now, this is the most important part of this training for me. I strongly believe it is. And then, before you go into the software technical part of it, your entire career as a virtual assistant relies and rests on that professionalism, the idea of professionalism and your conduct, your entire life. See it this way: you're a builder, you're supposed to build a house, so you have to do, maybe you want to do a 5 decking or a 5 story building, whatever you want to build. The whole idea here is this: if you make a mistake in your professionalism, you are building on a wrong foundation in your entire career as a virtual assistant. And what I mean is that by implication, you will most likely not succeed as a virtual assistant. Now, some people would be like, do you know exactly what you're talking about? I say that in the introduction class. People who are working with you as a virtual assistant, they don't know you. They cannot judge. They don't want to know whether your mom is sick. They don't care about whether you've not had light for 6 years. They don't care about your phone battery being low and you have to pay money to charge it. They don't care about anything. They only want to see and judge you by how you can coordinate yourself. And that is what professionalism and that's what conduct is. So your clients and the executives will trust you and they will rely on you and they will value you as a critical part of their team only based on the fact that you have a strong foundation as a professional in your work. A lot of Africans are used to talking their ways or trying to say, yeah, this person is wicked. He did not understand the fact that I wasn't feeling fine. See, blessing, whether or not you're feeling fine, you need to understand professionalism and conduct. Whether or not you have light, whether or not your phone is good, whether or not your laptop is bad, whether or not you have network. Professionalism and conduct is what puts everything together when every other thing is falling apart. Somebody can look at the way you comport yourself even when you're having difficulty in your network and like, you know what? This person did not have a great network, but I think I want to work with him. This person did not have a great network, but I think I want to work with her. That is the idea of professionalism and conduct, okay? So now let's look at understanding the basics of etiquette in the workplace. Now, this training has we realized that we could give you virtual assistant training alone, or we could give you virtual assistant and executive assistant at the same time, and we chose to be incredibly valuable to you by giving you the both of them. So at some point you're going to hear me spill over to executive assistant, and at some point you're going to hear me spill over to virtual assistant. I need you to understand that they are I would say they are the same siblings. They are twin from the same mother. If you don't understand this, blessing, I don't know what you want to understand. They are twin, like they are twin. You get it, just good. Okay, so professional ethics is like your rule book for doing the right things at work, even when no one is watching. So it's more like your commitment. When you're a professional, you're committed to doing the right thing, to being honest, to being responsible, to being fair in your actions, professional, to having the right moral compacts, whether or not anybody is watching. That's what professionalism is. People who are not professionals are looking for crooked way to do this. They are looking for ways to cut corners and all that, and then without having to do the work in being who they are supposed to be. Do you understand? Somebody who is not professional would realize I didn't do a particular task that my principal or my boss had told me to do, and the person will be doing it right there and tell the boss, I've done it, I've done it. That's unprofessional. That's unprofessional. So professionalism is you doing the right thing, doing it at the right time, and being able to put your entire life and your entire self together in perfect compliance with your profession. When your life and all the activities in your life are perfectly aligned with your profession as a VA, then we can solidly say, of course, you have very, 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 very strong, you're strongly, or you're a great professional, something like that. Okay? So, that being said, let's start by talking about um, um, as a VA. So, as a VA, when you operate with high degree of independence, the clients trust you. What I mean by independence is this. How do I put it this way? If the client needs to talk to you about everything, and if the client needs to teach you about everything, and if the client needs to check on you, you're not doing this. Oh, you're not doing this. Oh, why are you not doing this? If that needs to happen consistently, that means you are not professional. You are not trustworthy. You're not reliable. And I told you guys, if you need to keep by one law, one rule as a virtual assistant, reliability is undeniably the most indispensable thing to succeed as a virtual assistant. Okay? So the reason why professionalism is important for virtual assisting is because people will trust you, they would rely on you, they will depend on you, they will trust you with their business just on the fact that this lady can coordinate herself, this lady can speak, this lady can know how to say the right thing. I can trust her because she's going to tell me the truth. You understand? One small ethical lapse can destroy trust. Now, I told you guys this, and I'll tell you again. Working as a virtual assistant is not like a video editor when you go for one gig to another gig, one job to another job. No, that's not the goal. Working as a virtual assistant means you stay with 2 or 3 clients for 3 years and they increase your retainership. 3 clients can make you 20, 30, literally 20 to 40 or $50,000 a year. And that's the idea as a virtual assistant. Trust is not one of the things you can joke with or play with as a virtual assistant, okay? So, as an executive assistant, it's even more important because you're going to be physically present with your boss. Do you understand? So you're a representative of the executive. Like my EA right now has the right to enter a meeting I'm supposed to be in, speak on my behalf, answer questions on my behalf, and make primary decisions on my behalf. That's how powerful an executive assistant is. So imagine if you have loose ethical standards that do not directly, imagine for somebody like me now, who I like being very clear on things. I like having expectations clear. I also do not like yelling at people and being arrogant or shouting and all that. If I have an EA who goes to a meeting and is like, why have people not done it? All of you are here, you have not done it. What's wrong with you? Are you mad? That EA is not, they're not directly reflecting my standards. By implication, you cannot be my EA. Let's even start there. So, blessing, what I mean is this. You need to understand the next points I'm going to make because they are literally going to determine how successful you're going to be as a virtual assistant or an executive assistant. The first key and learning and practical point when it has to do with your professionalism and conduct is honesty. Honesty. In the name of whatever God you serve, please, there is nothing, and you should for no reason, no typical reason, lie. No typical reason. You shouldn't do that for any reason whatsoever. You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't, there's what they call white lie in Nigeria. It's a lie that is not like kind of a lie. You understand? Maybe your boss will tell you to pay for a particular software. The software is $20. Your conversion rate, if you convert it to your country, is relatively about $25. And then you begin to tell your boss the software in my country is if you do the conversion rate is about $30. And so you inflate You inflate your local rate or your local currency because it doesn't have the time to confirm, just so that you can pull a validation. This is one of the things that you should not do. Some of you are going to be working with, there are softwares that they use to track all those people that work per hour. There's a software, so some of you that don't know, just so you know, especially those of you that are from Africa, you have not been on the internet, there are softwares that people can use to track you, to know whether you have been working for the 1 hour that they said they are paying you for. So some people, your clients can trust you and be like, I'm going to pay you 3 hours per day, $5 or $20 per day. So you're going to be making $60 and you're going to be working maybe for 3 days. Some of you are going to work only 2 hours that day and you'll collect money for 3 hours. Do you understand? You need to be sincere enough to say, no, I worked for 2 hours. It's that trust that will make the person say, I need more of this person. Maybe I should bring the person full-time into my business. Maybe I should make the person. Some people can even go ahead to fly you down into their country. I have a friend who worked with a software company in UK. And I think it was 2-3 years ago, they flew him down from Nigeria to UK for their company retreat. He was working with them on contract. The company took care of his hotel, everything. Flew you there, paid for his flight ticket. This guy went to the UK for 2 weeks for free. Because of what? Reliability. Now, he's a programmer. The same thing can happen for executive assistant, for virtual assistant, when the person sees your value. Okay? The second thing is fairness. If you're working with multiple clients, try to give full attention to a client at their scheduled time. If you're working with 4 clients and each client is supposed to have 2 hours every day, try to devote as much as you can 2 hours to that client. Okay? So do not share trade secrets. There's what we call trade secrets. Some of you don't get the gist. Like, I have companies that's making like a lot of money from selling things and products online. And if somebody in my company pick our strategies, our techniques, everything, and gives it to somebody else and tells the person, this is how these people are doing this thing, I work with them just so that I will advise you. You pick my strategy and you dash it to somebody else and advise. To an extent where the person can replicate my results, you've given away what they call trade secrets. Trade secrets are things that the company is doing to make a lot of money that no other company knows. Now, whether or not your 2 clients are competitors, it doesn't really matter. Please don't share information or strategies. Do you understand? Don't share information, don't share strategies. That's what we call trade secrets. Keep it one from the other client. Do you understand? Even if they are not competitors, you cannot tell this client, I have this client, or this is what they're doing. No, because as a virtual assistant or as an EA, most especially, you're going to have access to people and so many things that are very close to them, their emails, their WhatsApp, so many other things. You cannot, for any reason, share this information. Okay? The second one is respect company resources. A company can give you access to their Canva Pro. You cannot be using it for your personal project or for another client's work. Do you understand? If you need Canva Pro, use the money they are paying you and pay for your own Canva Pro. Tell the client, you know what? Instead of you to give me your softwares, can you add $2? Can you add $20? Can you add $200? I would love to get the softwares myself without putting the entire cost on you. Would it be kind enough for you to do that? Get your own for yourself so you can do their work with your own Canva. Do you understand? But if they insist to give you theirs, go and buy your own or go and let another client pay for their own. Do you understand? Do not use one client's resources for the other. Okay? Then the third point is avoid conflict of interest. You're working with a client who is in Forex. You're working with another client who is also in Forex. You need both clients to understand that you're working with the both of them. Do you understand? If a new client operates in the same exact niche, you must be able to inform the both of them. Be transparent. I want to be transparent with you. I work with Forex clients. I also have 2 people who are into Forex. And I want to assure you that I will not share any of your information or anything that we discuss with them. You can count on me. You didn't ask me to tell you this. I just want you to know that you can count on me and you can trust me. My work with you remains my priority. You need to be able to coordinate. Do you understand how much confidence people are going to have in you when you can do this? They would literally be very, 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 very confident in you. Okay? Now, let's talk about maintaining strict confidentiality with sensitive information. Okay? Now, there's no way you can be a VA. No way without having login details. Somebody will have to give you login details of something. There has to be something you have a login detail to. It's either people's Canva or their emails or their Facebook or their Instagram or their something. You have there's something about them you have to have access to it. That's relatively what virtual assistant is, by the way, Blessing. Like, Blessing, your job as a virtual assistant is an official PA. Let me put it that way. You get the person would rely on you like they would literally rely on a personal assistant. Okay, so whether it's their passwords or their financial data, some people you're going to know how much this company makes and how much these people make. You cannot share it. Hello, Blessing, can you hear me? You cannot share it. And I don't want, even if it's your grandfather comes out from the grave and literally tells you, my daughter, Blessing, give me the password. No, you cannot. It's important you understand that number one rule of virtual assistant is that you'll be giving clients details and you cannot share it. Some of you, the clients you're going to work with, are very strong people. You will sign what they call NDA, non-disclosure agreement, or you're going to sign contract of confidentiality. So some of you are going to think those things are ordinary paper until you sign it and the information they give you comes out. You find yourself in front of a judge saying, not guilty, sir. Guilty, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I did not know I did it. You will start looking. Some of you don't know what it means to look for a lawyer. Oh my God. So this is a very serious matter. People are in jail because they breached professional contract. They will sue you for what your entire family cannot even collate. Like, somebody will say their trade secret was in the email, and they found the same email with a competitor who copied their trade secret, and that trade secret is cost millions of dollars. They will sue you. As a matter of fact, some of them will even sue you in their country. Some of you that don't know how to read contracts, you need to learn how to read contracts, because some people in the contract they're going to sign with you, they will tell you, if you breach this contract, we are going to bring you down to the United States where we are, and we will judge you by the United States system. Do you understand? Your prison sentence will be done in another country. So it's very important. It's very important you understand that, okay? Confidentiality. As an executive assistant, you're going to be able to know, like, this may be funny and ridiculous, but it's the truth. You could be an executive assistant to a CEO who is literally cheating on his wife, relatively, and you are going to know. You either leave the job if you think it's not something you can handle, resign, tell them you're not interested. Do you understand? But do not share confidential information. These people are trusting you with their businesses, with their life. They are putting their private information in your hands. Do you understand? Like, at an EA, you're going to come to a point where you can access the device of your boss. You know his password, his ATM pin. You know everything. Your goal is to make sure that it's confidential and discretion is paramount. Do you understand? Whether it's virtual or it's physical, that is your job. They pay you for confidentiality. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. They pay you for confidentiality. So you need to do your job by keeping your mouth shut. Bless it. Keep your mouth shut. Don't talk, don't share. Don't go and be screenshotting and sharing with your friends. See what my boss sent me. One lousy friend of yours will just share it to the Twitter, and that's how it will start trending. Your whole life will be ruined. You will go to court, they will take you to prison just because you were not wise enough to know that you don't screenshot. It's not everything that is for screenshots. Do you understand? I had to give my EA, when I was hiring her, specific rules. Don't ever screenshot my chat. Like, it's not possible. I don't care what I tell you, whether it's good. Like, I hate it. Don't screenshot my chats. Don't come and screenshot my face and my chat and what I sent to you and share it to anybody. If you cannot use your mouth and communicate what I said, don't screenshot and share. This is what I said. Don't do that. It's important. That's discretion, you get, okay? And so you need to know, there's this thing they call the need to know principle, which is only access information you absolutely need to do your job. Don't get curious and start browsing through people's folders and files. Do you understand? Don't get curious. You cannot go and be searching their entire mail to see, I want to see if this woman has done this kind of. You cannot go and search their chats. You cannot be reading Instagram DMs that have no business to do with you. It is not your business. Are you getting my point? Blessing, are you getting my point? Okay? It's not your business. It's not your business. Avoid it by all means. Don't open a folder or a chat. Anything that you don't absolutely need, leave it. Before you go and get the one that FBI, you start looking for you, they'll say, we know you access some information. They'll say you are aware. Maybe you're an ear to somebody who is into fraudulent things that you did not know. And then you went to go and access information and you finally became aware of it. You would have kept your whole life innocent. If they took you to court, you would tell the whole EFCC or FBI, I did not know about it. I do not access anything that doesn't have to do with my job. And this is everything I have access. And you present you before the court. And the court will say, this person is right. But you see, if you're somebody who is checking everything, they will track your IP address. They will look for the folder and find out that you actually did access it. And you become an accomplice. Do you understand? So, save yourself and save your principal a lot of problems by only make sure you obey the principle of need to know. There's what they call it, need to know basis. Do you understand? Only ask or inquire or assess something on the need to know basis when you need to know it, okay? Now, let me go to a more important and interesting part of it. You're a VA and you don't understand that passwords are passwords. They're very important. They can be hacked. You don't get it. Like, you don't get the gist. I feel like drinking water for you because I know some of you are you're getting the point. This is what I need to tell you, okay? Make sure you do not save passwords in plain text document sticky notes. Ensure that you save password in an actual password manager. Do you understand? Why is that important? Listen carefully. If your email address, this is one of my devices. If the email address of somebody, I'm a VA, and the email address of one of the principals or somebody that I work with is inside this phone, and my phone is hacked, and the password of my principal is on my phone on a very basic, a place where it's easily accessible, the hackers can find that password and use the password and open the person's account and then access the person's information, whether it's bank details or otherwise. So it's very important you know that everything needs to be protected. A lot of people go around looking for free Wi-Fi. If you don't understand it, go and do your own research. There are Wi-Fis that are opened and that you can be hacked. Oh, this Wi-Fi is open. I can download film, movie for free. And you go around and you start downloading. You don't know as you are downloading, they are downloading you. So, hackers, that was funny. But get my point, blessing. Forget about, I know it's funny, but I'm actually very serious. Avoid open Wi-Fis. Avoid having a system that doesn't have antivirus. Avoid it. Do you understand? When you're a VA, you are managing people's virtual and physical and businesses. You need to take it very, very seriously. Do you understand? You need to take it what? You need to take it very, very seriously. Okay? Good. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can actually see it. Now, another thing that's also important when we come to security and people's information is, don't be using your screen facing your window. Like your neighbor, you are using, let's say you're using a laptop like this. Your window behind you, your neighbor is passing. That's where your neighbors used to pass, and they'll be peeping. You dey house? Una dey house? I want check whether una dey. Don't do that. Make sure that your screen is facing a wall. Do you understand? Make sure it's facing a wall. Your family members, visitors, because you can have one nephew now or one cousin that's a Yahoo person, or the person is into internet fraud, and the person is just watching you, watching your client, and all of a sudden he sees the client's information, data. As you are working, he notices it 1 week, 2 weeks. All of a sudden, he finally connives with his friends, hacks you, hacks the client, and runs away to millions. And because of you, somebody's business is ruined. Do you understand? So you must be very careful with your surrounding. If you're using your phone to work, you cannot be using your phone to be working where people can see you. Do you understand? Face the wall or don't walk outside. Hold your work to when you go inside and you're within your workspace. Be careful with your surrounding. Be mindful about your environment. Don't position your screen when people can be there. Do you understand? And then also something, when you're in a call with the client, ensure you're in a private space. Do you understand? Where you cannot be overheard. You're talking to a client and the client is like, I told them to send $1 million. I don't know, have you sent that invoice for $1 million? And then you say, yes, sir, I've sent $1 million invoice. Yes, the invoice is $1 million. I've sent it. guys, you can't do that. Do you understand? Like, you cannot do that. So you have to make sure that you're in a place where it's confidential. And then if you don't, go and look for workspace, look for anywhere. That's part of what it takes to do business online and make a lot of money from it. It's not just to pit for jobs. You should be able to know these things and also be able to do them as well too. Do you understand? Okay? So another thing you can do is control sharing documents. When you're sharing documents, use Google Drive and give people view only permissions, comment only permissions, edit permission. Rather than sending people attachments that they can forward, send them a link. And I'm going to teach you, those of you that are like, what is Google Drive? How can you use Google Drive? I'm going to teach you that, so just relax. But I'm sure telling you that when you want to send things to people, try to always use something you can control. Do you understand? It has to be some kind of thing that you can control. It just has to be something you can control, okay? Never discuss your client's work casually with your girlfriend. This guy, they do this to know. This client, no, you can't just go around discussing your client's businesses with your friends, your family. You know, this UK client that I'm working with there, these people don't have sense, so this is what they used to do. No, blessing. You can't do that. Are you following me? You cannot afford to do that. You are a virtual assistant. It's like being a pastor. It's like being a pastor, but in the corporate world. That's what virtual assistant is. It's just like you are a pastor, but you're a pastor in the corporate world. That's the idea of virtual assistant. People have the highest standard of expectation for you. You can, the same way, if you hear that a pastor, this pastor did this thing, this pastor collected money from his neighbor, they say, and so they be. That's the same way when a virtual assistant goes around doing about the principal's business. It's the same shame. Do you understand? Some things that look like a harmless comment can be a serious breach of trust or breach of contract. You know, I can remember working with somebody sometime. I was not working the person fully. I was just trying to work with the person. I think it was way earlier in my career, and I would be hearing some of the things that we are discussing. Somebody else who is a mutual friend to the person who kind of been giving me like updated information. And in my mind, I was saying, how you take no? I was laughing away. I was like, how did you know? How you take no? Wait till me they do self. But inside my heart, I was telling myself, I can never work closely with this person. And that's how I strategically just disconnected from the person. Very tiny things can damage your entire career. Okay? So the next one, professional conduct and workplace etiquette. Now, this like an upgraded version of the first one we talked about. You get, it's like an upgraded version, still on written rules for professional etiquette. It's more like how you present yourself. The first one we talked about had to do with how you conduct yourself internally, integrity. This one has to do with how you conduct yourself externally, professional conduct and workplace etiquette. How do you interact with people, show respect and competence? All these things makes people either get very comfortable or get uncomfortable working with you. I've worked with some people that I sent them to. There's a particular person we had worked with. We're working on a project and we brought the person in, and there were three other people working on the same project. And then one other person, after like 1 month after the project, was telling me this person called for a meeting. I'm like, what do you mean? This person called for a meeting. This person was talking about this thing. This person was talking about this thing. I'm like, I didn't send anybody message. Do you understand? Like, I didn't send you message. Like, you don't have the right to call for a meeting without consent. Like, why will you call for a meeting when it's not your project, you're not the one managing it, I didn't make you a leader? And do you know what happened? My relationship with that person and the potential I thought the person had reduced. I know I did not give you authority, you're exercising it. Imagine if I now make you project coordinator. So somewhere in my head, I instituted one rule of law. This person should, if the person works with you for the next 4 years, that's when the person should take the first basic leadership portfolio. So you see that person right now, nothing. Because of what? Lack of professional conduct and etiquette. Do you understand? So as a VA, the person you're working with is not seeing you physically. They are communicating with you on phone. How do you sound on your emails, in chats, doing video calls? How do you sound? Are you doing video call and your shirt is like this? Oh God, this is my white shirt. It's not allowing me exercise my freedom of this thing now. You are doing video call and then your shirt is like this, or you are those of you that are girls, your hair is scattered. You're like, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing? Wait, let me pack my hair. I know it sounds funny, but you can't do that, blessing. Like, you can't, blessing both boy and girl. You can't do that. Do you understand? Or you're a boy, you're on call, and you're like, let me put my. You can't do that. You have to put yourself in order. Do you understand? Then put on the camera. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing, sir? How was your day, sir? Poor etiquette will make you look like you are unreliable. When you have poor etiquette, people are literally going to make you feel like you're what? Unreliable. Do you understand? So for executive assistants, how do you show up to work? Your time, your body language, how do you arrange your workspace? There are some executive assistants, they come to work. First of all, they come later, their boss is already working. Do you understand? Second of all, when they come, they don't just look around to be, the boss's table is scattered. He needs to arrange this, and they come and pick out the things that needs to be arranged, put some things in order, package some things a particular way, do some things a particular way. No, they wouldn't do that. So, no, they wouldn't do that. They'll just come and then sit down and then walk. Do you understand? You have to be able to build that office etiquette. Do you understand? The way you dress, your body language, how you sit down. You're a girl, you're sitting down, like discussing with your boss, and then you're chewing gum. Do you understand? Or you're not sitting upright. Some people, let me do this. Some people, this is how, like, they'll have the meeting. Yes, sir. That's true. They will just recline their chairs and then be rolling like this. They'll just be rolling like this. It's true, sir. I think we need to plan for the meeting like you just said. No, you need to have professional etiquette. It doesn't mean the person, see, your boss can have a good personal relationship with you where he talks with you casually, he interacts with you casually, but as an EA, for you to maintain his trust, you have to always look for ways to make him understand that you're professional. Do you understand? It's That's the idea. He doesn't, like, your boss can be so free that he doesn't mind you jump. Do you understand? But part of your job is put yourself together, organize yourself. You get, okay? So, what are other things that you can do within this particular professional etiquette is punctuality. Log in 5 to 10 minutes before the meeting, test your audio. Testing microphone 1 2, testing microphone 1 2. Test your video. Am I positioned well? If I do my camera like this, is it going to be fine? Is my background well? Do you understand? And some of you, let me just say this. Video etiquette. This is very important. Video etiquette. Make sure you're using a plain background. Make sure you're using what? A plain background. Try to avoid backgrounds that are bushy or so many things. Do you understand? Make sure you're using a plain background. When we get to Zoom, when we get to our trainings on Zoom and Google Meet, we'll teach you how to change background. We'll teach you how to change background. Do you understand? We'll teach you the various ways you can change background. Just other very different things that you can actually do. But you must make sure your background is plain. Make sure light is not behind, like daylight. Don't back the window, especially if the window is opened. Light needs to be facing your front. Your light should face you. Your camera should face you. I have a light here. That's why you guys can see me clearly. There's a light here. Do you understand? My normal lights are on. I have a studio light here. I have another light here. Light is here. That's how you can see me clearly. If I had light behind, I can't really off this light. I would have turned this light off. So you see, this light is going to make me look dark. If this light is the only light that is on, it's going to make me look dark. Do you understand? So your light has to be in front. You cannot be staying backing window where light is coming from window. Do you understand? Except you have enough light from the front that overshadows that light coming from behind. So make sure you are backing the wall, facing a window, or facing some kind of light source. Do you understand? These are like very, 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 very important thing, okay? Clarity in your tone. When you're writing emails, no emojis. I know some of you with stickers. They have baptized you with mimes, baptized you with stickers. You cannot be sending mimes and stickers to your boss. Cannot. I know what your village people are telling you. I can be so close to my boss. Like if I'm close to him, I can send him things. He will just laugh. Lie. Is he your boss or your boyfriend? You can't. You can't send mimes. You can't send emojis. Do you understand? Especially unnecessary emojis, excessive emojis. I think that's what I put here. If you read it very well, you will see where I put it. Excessive emojis. Do you understand? You cannot be writing in all caps. Yes, sir. All capital letter feels like you are shouting. Some of you, somebody sent me a message. I can't remember, but I know it's from one of the cohorts at Skill to Scale. I don't know the person. I don't know whether it's social media management or VA. Somebody sent me a message. All capital letter. I opened the message. I was like, bro, what did I do? I'm like, why are you shouting at me? You can't do all caps. Yes, all caps. Literally how the person is going to hear is that, yes, sir, yes. You know all those rude yes. That's how the person is going to be hearing it. Remember that they cannot really see you. They don't know your body language. Some of you can be like, oh, yes, sir. In your mind, you're like, yes, sir. That's it. But you can't type yes with all capital letter. I say no on your behalf. Blessing. Are you following me? Are you following me, blessing? Please stay with me, okay? So excessive use of emojis, okay? Responsiveness. Acknowledge things promptly. Do you understand? For me, I lead the companies. If somebody sends me a message, it takes me a lot of time for me to respond, frankly speaking. It's not as easy as some people think, okay? When you're a VA, as soon as the boss is sending message, I work with the client. We still work with the client anyway. And she calls me like 2 a.m. She's in the US. And so by 2 a.m. she's calling. She's like, Chigozie, you haven't slept? Sometimes she doesn't know that sometimes the call just woke me up from sleep. I saw the call. I can choose not to answer it, but I'm a very reliable person. I don't understand how some people do some things, but I love to be reliable. I want to be reliable. You get? And so
responsiveness. And when she sent me, okay, ma, I got you. Thank you very much, ma. And there was a time she sends email. It takes us time to respond to the email. I have to literally build the habit to respond to the email promptly. Do you understand? Got it. Thank you. I'll get back to you on this by the end of the day. Reassuring the client that I saw the message, I'm working on it. That's a virtual setting standard. I used to have this guy on our team. He's an amazing guy, incredible guy. And he works on very, very unique project. Like, we only call him in when we have very good project, because he has a very high potency. His skill set is very good. And getting him to respond or give feedback on the project was like a war. It was like a war I fought for 2 years. We had to let him off the team. Not because he wasn't good, but because you're going to send him a message and tell him to do something, and then he's not going to do it. He's not going to respond to tell you he has not done it. He's not going to respond when you ask him how far, whether or not he has done it. It's just, see, listen, I would rather work with a beginner who doesn't know their way around, but they are prompt and responsive, than work with a professional who cannot respond to messages and as well be basically accountable. It just doesn't make sense at all. Okay? In a virtual setting, response in a few business hours is the standard. Respond within 2 to 3 hours maximum. That's the standard. Especially if it's during work time. If it's like while you're on seat. I'm not talking about while you're sleeping, no. While you're on seat. I had a friend who, she works as a virtual assistant as well too. And she had worked with some clients who like were outside the country, and she has to use their time. That was the arrangement. So her work will relatively be starting by 2 a.m. Do you like her work is starting by 2 a.m. It's an agreement. Do you understand? So if they send her message by 3 a.m., she's supposed to respond within a few minutes, because she's supposed to be working on seat. Okay? And so video meeting etiquette, and even on video call, dress up as though you're in an in-person meeting. Even if you're on video call, dress up as though you're in an in-person meeting. Check your background. Make sure it's clean, it's tidy. Make sure nobody is passing. Your mother is not. Do you understand? Make sure nobody can pass through your background. Do you understand? Use a virtual background. Some of you don't know how to use virtual background. We'll teach you. Use a virtual background if necessary. Mute your microphone when you are not speaking to avoid background noise. Stay focused on the call and don't be multitasking. Some people, they will have call. I'm coming. No, it's not that one. Hello, sorry, I'm coming. Just give me 1 minute. No, it's not that one. It's the other one. Check left. That's not how to do meetings, and that is not how you should be able to do meetings. Okay? Do not be multitasking. Give full attention. Don't be doing 100 things and the client's thing at the same time. Doesn't work that way. Okay? Respect boundaries. Respect boundaries. Stick to the agreed upon work hours. Do you understand? Don't message a client at 9 when it's not part of the pre-arrangement. Use the correct communication. If a client prefers to use email, don't say, I beg, I'm tired, I cannot go and type email, let me just send him a WhatsApp message. No. See, listen, let me give you one secret. Listen, guys, you need to pay attention to this same lesson. One of the biggest secrets to working with people is do exactly what they want, even if you don't feel like it's the best you can do. I'll say it again. Do exactly what they want, even if it doesn't feel like that's the best you can do. If the client wants to use WhatsApp, don't ever use email. If your client wants to use email, don't use WhatsApp. Ask them, please, what's your preferred communication channel? And stay on that. Do you understand? Okay? So these are the things that you need to know. I'm rounding up here. Develop a proactive mindset and taking initiative. This is something that will change your life. By proactive, what I mean is think one step ahead. Think one step ahead. Instead of waiting to be told, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do. I told you guys that as a virtual assistant or executive assistant, your job is to get the work done. Do you understand? There's a difference between a task doer and being a true assistant. A tax doer is, I need you to send text message to this person for our Tuesday meetings. And then you type, Ma, I'm told to remind you for Tuesday meetings. A virtual assistant is, sir, do I send a text message to remind Mrs. James for the Tuesday meeting? A virtual assistant is proactive. Do you understand? The client is hiring you to save time and to reduce their normal mental load. So you must do a good job on that. Do you understand? When you anticipate a need, you're supposed to be proving that you are valuable. You are tenfold more valuable than they think. Do you understand? Imagine working with a client that who doesn't have to think about anything. You're just doing things for the person. Oh, I've sent an email concerning this thing we talked about last week. I've also sent you a reminder concerning this thing you are supposed to do today. Please let me know that if you want to go ahead with this particular thing. The client will just be happy. You'll be smiling. You'll be smiling. He'll be happy with you. For top tier EAs. Do you understand? They run the executive. They run their boss's life. Do you understand? They have prepared the agenda for the meeting. Remember when you were talking with they will sit down in the marketing team meeting, take notes, and then they will tell the boss, you discussed with the marketing guys and you told them that you were going to make a decision on this. So I came up with some options for you. I want you to make a decision so I can forward it to them as your reply. Do you understand? The boss will be so happy. I did not have to think about that. Do you understand? I did not have to think about that. Anticipate things, handling potential schedule conflict. You get? He's like, oh, okay, maybe he's on a call. And he's like, I'm trying to, okay, let's meet tomorrow. As soon as he drops off the call, you tell him, okay, can I schedule this particular meeting for Wednesday because your tomorrow is actually filled up. You get? That's being proactive. Do you understand? If you want to go practical, like, let's say after a few weeks of working with your boss, and you notice there's a Friday morning meetings, Thursday afternoon meetings, you can proactively always ask, should I prepare or set an agenda for this meeting? Or send him on Monday, on Thursday night, here's the agenda for Friday morning meeting, sir. Please kindly go through it and you can make any contribution you would want. That's how these things are done. Do you understand? Create solutions, don't just return problems. Like Africans, we take pride in problems. You know some of the things that happen to us as Africans is somebody comes to you and the person is like, I had a very bad day. My shoe spoiled, my car broke down, my laptop burnt, my phone scattered. And then you now be like, you don't know my own. My own was worse than your own. Listen, blessed. Listen. Let it end with you and your village people. I'm sorry I'm using village people. I'm just trying to be ridiculous. But the fact is this: let that culture of boasting in problem end outside work. Nobody would pay you for you to tell them all the problems they have. They know. Do you understand? They know. So a reactive person or a problem reporter is going to say, sir, this link is not working. A proactive person will say, sir, the link, I checked the webinar link, it's not working. I've already contacted the support team to look at it. Or I've checked what the problem is. The problem is from the back end. We need to change this information. Can you give me access to it so I do it? Or can you please kindly, or I've told this person, I've sent a message to this person for him to actually check it immediately and attend to it. Do you understand? Or I've told them to get a new one. Thinking ahead of taxis. If you're asked to book a flight, you can ask the person, oh, what's the travel time, and then what are the kind of things you would love to do? Should I also book a ride to pick you from the airport? Do you understand? Or would you also want me to book a hotel? Should I contact some hotels around the place you're going to and then see if I can get you booked on that day? Look for ways you can also improve their system. Do you understand? Look for ways to improve their system. If a particular thing is not working, try to fix it. Let me give you guys an example. If you're a VA right now and you're probably working with skill to scale as a virtual assistant, we have an entire folder for meeting recordings. Here. Okay, I don't know why it's not clicking. Now, to those of you that don't know skill to scale, we do about 6 classes, 6 to 10 classes every week. So this folder has over 100 video files, and they are not named. A virtual assistant is going to see this kind of thing and then come up with an idea and a suggestion and be like, sir, ma, is there a way we can actually do this to make sure that every single file or every single recording has a name? Do you see now? You improve the system. Because if we want to look for a file right now, it will literally take somebody like 20-30 minutes. You get, obviously we're going to get virtual assistants to fix this. And nobody should send me a DM telling me they want to fix it. Please focus on your virtual assistant training. Okay? Maybe by the time you're watching this video, it's already fixed. Okay? So it's one of the things you must be able to do. So the last thing we'll be able to look at here is building a strong professional brand and image. I've talked about personal brand already. We have talked about that extensively. Now, your professional image is the perception people have of you based on your skills, your conduct, and your communication. It's like your professional reputation. Let me tell you how it works. As a virtual assistant, you're technically like a business owner or a brand. Do you understand? And you want to have a brand that shows I'm reliable, I'm efficient, I'm professional, I'm an expert in my field. As an EA is more than just a VA, a virtual assistant. Excuse. An EA is way more than a VA. An EA is like a trusted advisor, a problem solver. Like an EA is who the boss falls on to any single time there's a problem. I used to know, like one of my mentors years ago, I used to enter, I would go to his office because I don't know, then we are doing like a lot of projects, church projects, and then we'll be going to we're going to ask for funding. We're going to ask for funding, and he was just incredible. He was a very helpful, amazing man. I love him till today. I really, really, really do love him. And I was watching with him. That was, I was way younger, just like maybe 7, 8, 10 years back. And I was watching him. I can't mention his name here because I don't know why I should. He's a very big, like very, very notable in some denominations. And he had a problem with his flight. So the general overseer had sent him, the GO had sent him an errand to travel to like 2 countries, and he already had one he had planned, and so he had to look for a flight that was going that perfect route. And he was having a problem. He answered the call from GO and then said like, wow, I need to do this. And he got on a call with his EA. He was in a call with his EA for like 4 hours in the office. That's when I knew that some people don't understand what MTN airtime is. That was the first time in my life I saw somebody on a 4-hour call. And in my life, I was like, that's airtime. It was a very funny experience. But the entire idea is this. His EA was the problem solver. So he was telling his EA go back and forth. His EA was checking flights. They were checking it together. It was like, no, let's try this. If I fly to Qatar now, I cannot get a flight from Qatar to the UK. And then they were just doing that and doing that. I was just looking at it and enjoying him. Today, wow, I've grown really. Thank God. but that's the idea of being an EA. Your reputation is based on competence, ability to solve problems and be a trusted advisor. Okay? Now let's look at key things that would make you, or that would bring you to the point of having a strong brand. Consistency. Ensure your professional image is consistent. I've talked about this already. Your LinkedIn profile, image signature, facial. I told you about public facial material. Don't go and use 10 pictures with 10 wigs on all your social media. I've said it before and I'm not going to say it again. So you guys don't get me. Don't make me shout too much. We've had that full conversation already. Okay? Define your brand. What do you want to be known for? Extreme efficiency, excellent communication, expertise in social media management. I've told you guys about niching. Focus on highlighting your strengths. Some of you, as an EA, you're supposed to be just great at solving administrative taxes or great at specific things, or you can just be good at everything. It's your choice, okay? I've taught you guys about polishing your LinkedIn. I'm still going to take you through a social media management and social media marketing training. It's not a part of your training, the marketing own, but I'm still going to make you have it because it's essential for you finding clients as well too. Okay. And so email signature, your delivering time should be very excellent as well too. You should be able to deliver okay. The strongest brand you can ever build is the foundation of excellent work. Meet your deadlines, communicate clearly, be proactive. Your work itself is the best marketing tool. Do a very good job, and other people will recommend you to other people. That's the fact. Do a very good job, and a lot of people would recommend you to other people. Okay? Now, once you have built a great relationship with the client, ask them for a testimonial. Don't wait for the project to be done. Ask them for a LinkedIn recommendation or a testimonial. Okay? Positive reviews are powerful proofs of your professional brand. You can always ask, as we've been working together for a while, I was hoping you might be willing to write a brief testimonial about your experience. It would be of great help for my professional portfolio. Just send this to somebody who you've worked with, and the person would really, 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 really be glad to help you. So this is the module 1 of your entire virtual assistant training. I do hope you enjoyed this. I want you to please go through this 2 times if you can, 3 times if you can. Make sure you listen carefully. The notes will be available to you, and then you can of course be able to go through it whenever, however. So thank you so much, and then I'll see you shortly. If you're going to be watching this thing at a stretch, take a break, blessing. Calm down. I'm going to change your name in the next episode anyway. Maybe you're going to be answering victory or testimony. I'll change it. I'll think about it. Maybe testimony. No, victory, testimony. Whatever. I'll think about it. Cheers, guys.